Welcome to Elden Ring. My name is Nilaus and I am guiding you through all the dungeons of the game one area of the time. We made it to Capital Outskirts and there are 3 dungeons in this area, so I will be walking you through these. I would say that the 3 is a bit low compared to many of the other zones. It is a smaller zone, but it also has, but the number 2 and 3, the Auriza Side Tomb and Auriza Hero Grave, have really unique and interesting mechanics, so those are pretty damn awesome. They're also a bit longer, so that should be cool. Anyway, if you like these kind of guides and want to see more, then be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing as we dive in to the first one. The first one is the sealed tunnel. It's down here at the south of the area. You can see here, we come down through this ramp and we find the cave over here. Now this is also the way to get to the Divine Tower. So if you are looking at Divine Tower on the map and wondering how you get here, well, this is the answer. Now, as it is a tunnel, we can expect to see a lot of what are they called? Yeah, a lot of smithing stones in here, so that's pretty good. That's always nice. And this is also a hint. If the game does this, then it tells you there are more secret doors in this dungeon. It's a kind of a neat thing that the game mechanic wise, it goes like, hey, by the way, remember there are more secret doors. Now again, I've mentioned this a few times, I don't think I've taken the game in sort of the right sequence, because things around here are pretty easy. I think that Caelid is supposed to come after this, so the fact that we have already done Caelid, plus the way that I play, where I clean out everything, means that I am probably a bit overpowered for these kind of things. I have a +9 weapon, and it is the Blasphemous Blade that we are just smacking away at everything with. So we get a smithing stone miner's bell bearing 2. That allows us to get to buy level 3 and 4. Smithing stones from the 2 husks in Round Table Hold if we hand back that bell bearing. And as you can see here, because my weapon also has fire damage, that means we are dealing quite a lot more damage to these miners. Usually if you just do slashing or piercing, then it doesn't really do much, but the fact that I have a bit of fire damage just means that we are dealing tons of damage and can just one-shot them. And of course also backstabbing is the way we like to do it. Now this weapon, the reason why you see the red swirlies here, the blue swirly is from the backstab, from the Cerulean Dagger. The red swirly is from the kill, that's from getting any kill with the Blasphemous Blade. It heals us for, I don't know, like 6% of the damage. I've kind of forgot where the secret door is, because there is a secret door, of course, to get out of this area. It is behind the chest we have over here. So let's go over there and find that. Go, and we can now proceed further into the dungeon, and this is where we have the now I've actually gotten used to the fact that I always just jump in here, but that's actually a mistake in this case, because now I can't get down to that one, so I'm gonna have to sort of find a different way down and then go a more convoluted way. Either way, we will get safely down here. At least they haven't made any traps, so you can't get down here. But we are, of course, unfortunately need to call down the elevator, take it on the way up, and then ride it down again to find that little extra smithing stone that we just absolutely must have. I'm trying to get every single item and find every single secret in these locations. There's a few instances where I missed a thing or two, but I think I'm pretty thorough. These kind of things. So this is a drop off there, but I'm gonna take it on the way down instead. I think it's easier to take them on the way down, because then you can sort of see them coming in. And things are clipping in the way, and we managed to roll off. So we got a smithing stone 5. Also again, like 5 is, it's a bit weird that, yeah, well, I just did it in the wrong, I did some of the things in the wrong direction, wrong sequence. And another secret door that is blatantly obvious, so moving forward. And another secret door that is blatantly obvious. I mean, yeah, some secret doors are absolutely insane, and some are very, very obvious. Okay, so here we have, I take the top first. If you fall down from here, I think it's lethal, but if you fall down from the lower branches, it's fine. I go over here, there are lots of these small, I don't know what they're called. These ones, they don't do much. Need a few swings here, but they can be annoying. Vulgar Militia, that's what they're called, the Vulgar Militia. And there's also one hiding in here, which will give us a stone sword key. I thought it was a rune arc. The rune arc must be later then. And then we can go out on the tree branches. I really prefer to take all of the stuff up top first. I don't know what that does. Nothing, it seems. You're dead. And that stab is great. That backstab is awesome. Alright, so we killed all the small ones, and then we have my least favorite trash mob down below. But we not only do we have to take it, but we also have to play with it a bit. So here we have one of those statues that have smithing stones inside. That leaves an indication that something big must be around that can smash it. Rune bears or an abductor virgin. Man. So we need to not only just deal with it, but also lure it in to get closer. That was completely useless. And jump to the side, that's good, but it was not enough to actually crack that one. So we're gonna have to get to lure it in, which is a really difficult or a really dangerous place for us to be, because we get stuck in that place and it's really hard to avoid. So do a jump attack and jump away and roll to the side, and now we need to lure it back in here, all the way in, so it can unleash the smithing stones for us. And I think that's enough. Yeah, I broke it, but I also got snatched. Yep, it's broken now, so that's good. Alright, now we can stop playing around and actually kill this one. Ow. And kill. Good. So let's see what we got from our troubles here. We get 3 smithing stone 6. That's pretty good. If you're at this, if you're taking this at the recommended level, I would say, then it's pretty good. Now, anything down here? Nope, nothing more. And there's 1 smithing stone into this corner, but no secret doors or anything. This is, yeah, there's nothing here. We need to go up again to proceed. But, I mean, it's totally worth it getting down here. Oh, by the way, there's also, you have this summoning stone, so you can summon in this area if you feel the need for it. I try to not do summons, both because, yeah, it's more fun to learn the fights without having a summon there, but also, yeah, I'd rather use my spells for the Contagious Fury from my shield, and also for the weapon art as well, once in a while. And we come into the next area, which looks like a dead end. Well, it kind of is a dead end, because you can't just barely not reach this one. But there's a drop down here, and you have to be careful because you are next to these annoying things. Now, the thing is, you would normally say that the stuff they drop, rune fragments, are completely useless. But I can guarantee you, you're going to need rune fragments for the next dungeon, because we're going to use those colored stones a lot. So get your rune fragments while you can, because you're going to need more. And even when you get into Leyndell, the Legacy Dungeon, I would highly recommend getting many rune stones, rune fragments, to make whatever they're called. Oh, and we already have something here. Yeah. They have quite a range. There we go, up, and there are tons more in this, 3 more. And you can kill them, but if you miss the first attack, it's gonna be a bad time. In any case, we just soak up the damage, take up all the runes fragment, and the little thing we could see from beside, we got that. That's an old fang. Not particularly useful. And we go in here. There's one behind here, so we just wait for it to trigger, move away, and then hack on this secret door. This secret door gets us out to a drop down, so we need to do some dropping down here. And there is another smithing stone into this location. You can get all of it on one iteration down, so that's not a big deal. And you also want to go to that part. And then this gets a bit difficult. I start running a bit away and then turn and jump. Run, turn, jump. Because you need to do a running jump to get over there. I think. It seems like a place where you need a running jump to get over there. And where is the safe drop down? I think it is here. And then we go down, and be careful because there are more of those exploding rune fragments. So just go a bit away from them. And they all just exploded each other, so that's perfect. And there was one more. And those rune fragments, they are super useful for what we need in the next dungeon. But we've made it all the way to the bottom. This is where we find the boss. And, well, I think for these kind of bosses, what I do is, I mean, I would always just buff up as much as possible. So what I do is I drink my flask, and I am going to start using these exalted flesh much more often, so that because they're pretty cheap to make, so why not just get a nice buff here. And I'm going to use my weapon art, because people have been saying, why are you not using weapon art? But so we do it, and we just, I mean, this guy is not dangerous. You killed one of those in Limgrave, so they're not dangerous, those Onyx Lords. Just, I think that high pressure is the way to go. But we're not quite done, because there is another exit, so don't teleport to the back. Go out here in the back, because this is where you will see the Divine Tower of West Altus, which is on the eastern side of Altus Plateau, but it's the western side of the capital, so that's why it's called West. Anyway, we get the Grace, and then you can go up there if you need to go there, or we can go on to the next dungeon. The next one is the Auriza side tomb, and you'll get it from going down here on the lower level and go all the way up here in the corner. You have to go past the room bear, and that's why I don't have as many flasks as I'd like going into this, but it's hidden up here in the corner. So once you go down there, kill the room bear, get the room bear to smash the stone, then yeah, then you can go in there. And after a bit of rest, we will then continue into dungeons, so we have full flask when going in. Now this thing, the first thing I should say about, there are two iterations, two dungeons that look exactly the same, and through teleporters you're going to be bouncing back between 1 and 2. I'll guide you through it because it is super complicated, but we're going to start with, we are now in what I would say is the starting area of 1. And you will be balancing between whether you're in location 1 or dungeon 1 or dungeon 2, and they look exactly identical, so it is about keeping track of it. Oh yeah, these ones explode a bit much when you do fire damage, and I have fire damage. So here we have a drop down. We can already see our level, so I'm going to throw one of those prisms down there, and we'll see that in a while, in a bit. So that is going to be our location 1. We throw that in, and then we have a chest. That's the only thing we have. That chest is a teleporter chest, and that gets us into, well, let's say dungeon 1. So now we have arrived in the original teleporter, and we can see someone has already put a prism stone here, and that's of course us. We threw it out the window, and we can see the lever over there. So this area here, we know that we have a green smithing stone here. We need to clear out the little gargoyles here. Business as usual, block counter, block counter, block counter, all the way through for the win. And there's another one here, and you do block and counter. And we need to get up there, but that's going to be a bit of a tricky thing. So that was the first room in dungeon 1, and we come into now some, basement cellar. There are things shooting at us. That's super annoying, and we have loot on the back here. So what we're going to do is we are going to place a little smithing stone here. That is the purple one. So let's try to remember that. And we come into basically the third room. There aren't a lot of rooms in this, but we come into the third room. Also here we have annoying things that are going to shoot at us. We have a teleporter trap over here, but more importantly, we have a secret door here, which also leads into a teleporter trap. But let's just see, there are two little exploding jars, so we'll have them explode. Need to get close so they actually get into the exploding animation. And here is a teleporter trap. So this teleporter trap will take us up to this ledge, except it won't really, because it'll take us up to the ledge in dungeon 2. But that's not what we want to do. We want to take the one here at the end first. So if you don't find the secret door, you are going to be super lost. So what happens now is that we take a teleporter, and we get teleported into behind, still dungeon 1. You can see the purple prism on the other side of the grid, And that means we are still in dungeon 1. But we are now on the other side of the fence. That's Perfumer's Cookbook. And we get a ritual pot. We get those pots when we kill those. Usually they are around. And there's nothing else in here, so all we can do is just go back. Take the teleporter, go back. So at this point, if you didn't find the secret door, you are completely lost. But at least, I mean, the fact that you have places you can see that you can't get to indicates that there must be a secret door somewhere. So at this point, now we are back. And we just check. Do we know if we are in dungeon 1 or 2? Well, there is a glove ward here that we have picked, so we know that we are in dungeon 1. Now, what I want to do is I want to mark this blue here. That's still dungeon 1. And then we take this one. So if you didn't mark everything and you get teleported here, you'll be up here on this ledge and go like, oh yeah, that's perfect. We're up on the ledge where those annoying things have been throwing things at us. Except there is no blue shard down there. So this is a copy. We are now in dungeon number 2. And we can then walk this way. And over in this previous room, this is one. This is also, you can see we dropped one here. That was a purple on this side. And we have the jars on the other side. But that is not it. So we go up here. And we get back to the first room. This is where we had dropped a green one in. If there was dungeon 1. But it is not dungeon 1. It is dungeon 2. So you can see there is no green on that ledge. I have no idea where you came from. Either way, I know where you're going. But the enemies are the same in these locations, so I'm just mulling over my options, getting down and going in here, because there must be one in here as well, because it's the same. So first time I did it, I was like, has things respawned when you take a teleporter? That seems weird. But it didn't. It's just there to tease you. So now this is where we got into first dungeon. The first teleporter we took got us into this location, except that's not location because we are now in dungeon number 2. So there is no exit from this one. Jump attacks are amazing, and you are less amazing. Ow! Got it. Ritual pots and some jar meat and some root resin. Good. Now, unfortunately, I can't use root resin anymore because you can't grease up your blasphemous blade. So we go now the same path that we did when we were in dungeon 1, but now we are in dungeon 2. Going down here, lower ground. Get to on one side of the grid, and we can see that there's something to go over here. We will mark this as with a yellow one. It was dungeon 1 was marked with a purple one at that location, but this one's marked with the yellow one. So at this point, we now have two options. If we take the one to the side in the secret passage, this one, then we will be teleported back up top in dungeon 1. And that's actually what we want to do first. The progression is the one at the end, so we'll take this one first. So this will go back to dungeon 1, and now we'll be up at the ledge in dungeon 1. And we should, if we look out, we should see a blue indicator. Yep, there's a blue, so we know we are in dungeon number 1. And there will be a purple indicator on the ground here. Yep, we can see it. And we are now in dungeon number 1. And we can now take this passage, which we couldn't take. This didn't exist in dungeon number 1. In dungeon number 1, it just passed straight through and went back to the first room. But here it's actually a long ladder up, and we all know what long ladders mean. That means a good opportunity to hit the like button and consider subscribing. So this one is actually taking us all the way back. So where might we be? Confused. And this now gets us. Then I start running and I realize that, oh yeah, we're back to before the first teleporter. So we just got all the way back. That's perfect. In here, yeah, okay, I know where we are. And then I go back and then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Wasn't there like a glove ward at that location? I think there was a glove ward in right by that window. Whoa, hold on. Let's just go up and check again. See, even on my second run through, I still get confused by it, because when we got here the first time, there was a grave ward, and this is looking down at number 2, not number 1. In the first time we looked out that window, we could see the lever, but not here. Jump and smash. Oops. And for our troubles, we get another ritual pot. We have quite a lot of ritual pots by now. And we get a somber smithing stone 5, some jar meat, or a living jar shot. And now we can go back. So this is the pre-teleporter area for Dungeon 2. And as we teleport here, we will be taken back. This is super complicated, and this is why you wanted to pick up the ruins fragment in the previous dungeon, so that you can use them to make your prism shards here, because without prism shards, this is not easy. And don't worry, there will be a dungeon later on that is even more complicated, that has 3 iterations of this. So I jump down here, we're back to dungeon number 1. And what we need to get is, we need to get to this area in dungeon 2 and take the chest at the back of it. That's the only place we haven't been. So we need to now teleport to dungeon 2. The way to do that is going here, which will get us to the ledge over the 3rd room in dungeon number 2. And we're here. So the only place we haven't been is this end chest. And that should get us the equivalent place as this one in dungeon 1. That will be behind the grid, but in dungeon 2 in this case. So we have the yellow one on the other side, which is how we indicated that room from the other side. Get another crackpot, ritual pots and crackpots. Nice. Oh, that takes a bit of damage when dealing fire damage. So we got that, and we can see the yellow one out here. Now this one has a nice ladder as well for us. So again, we have the ladder, and if you didn't have time to it last time, the climbing a long ladder is a good opportunity to hit the like button and consider subscribing for the channel. That's how we do it. If there's a ladder, that's the moment to do that. Alright, we're all done. Up the ladder, and we can now proceed. And where we were now coming back into the area 1 and the first room, and you can see the green indicator up there. It was the very first one we threw out the window. And we are now back, and somewhere a heavy door has opened. That got us all the way through this, and we got every single little tiny bit in this weird teleporter dungeon. It can be super complicated, but now that I walk through it with the use of prism stones, it doesn't actually seem that complicated. So hopefully for you, if you were kind of lost here, or maybe you missed something, because it's easy to miss some of those side paths in with the teleporters, but now this is at least everything. We can just trace our way back to the very beginning before the first teleporter, and we will get into the boss fight. So I'm going to top up my healing before we're going in, and we will be buffing up. Now I want to be using a two-handed weapon for this, so we switch to the two-hander. I will be using, eating some exalted flesh. It doesn't last very long, but hey, we'll take anything we can. Eat, drink our physics flask, go in, and smash it as it comes in, because there are also some ads, some little jar ads. So this is a great way to take some of those ads out quickly. And can we do it again? Let's do it again. Get you knocked down. And jump attack. And slash. And he goes down. Super lots of pressure. Easy to take him out. We have a little root resin in the corner. And we get the soldier ashes. That is so cool. They're called soul jar ashes. It's super cool. I don't know if they're good, but they use health instead of FP to cast, so I think that's pretty cool. I haven't tried it, but hey, they're cute. So that's an option, and we are ready for the next one. The next one is the Auriza Hero's Grave, and every time it says Hero's Grave, we know there are stupid, annoying chariots, but I figured it out. We are going to be doing this. This is quite close to the other one, also right next to that statue that we need the rune bear to destroy. And this dungeon is, man, was it frustrating, and I can imagine dying like a lot of times. And even on top of that, the boss fight is also excruciating. So this is a tough dungeon, but also really fun once you figured it out. So I'll help you figure it out as we come in here to this area. We are, as always, going to take the grace immediately, and then we can see that there's a little stone sword key area over in this corner. We'll take that. And you will see an excellent example of how not to kill basilisks. I know there are 2 basilisks, I know they're there, I know exactly what to do, and yet I just completely butcher this. And I am almost dying from all this stupid thing. Get out, get out. Yeah. So basically all you get for it is the golden epitaph. I don't know. I don't think that's worth it, but for the completionist, then it is absolutely worth it. Now we come in here and I just start running because this is where, oh, by the way, that's a pit of death and doom and destruction to the right, so don't go there. I just keep running down, and you can see down there at that roses thing, it spawns a chariot. So basically that's kind of a hint to us that says the roses light will spawn chariots. It's not a great hint, but it's a hint nonetheless. Good. So we clear that and get ready. Basically at this point I would recommend having a lot of hit points. Not much you can do about it, but if you can do anything, they deal about, I don't know, 1800 damage or something. So if you mess up and get hit once, then if you can survive, that's pretty damn good. So we run down here and there is a safe spot. If you go into the middle here, that's a safe spot with the 2. They can turn around and will not hit us. So we go here and then we jump down at this point. It's very important that you jump down close to the other side, otherwise you will spawn too many. So you can see here we jump down and we kill this one and nothing else spawns. So if you need to rerun corpse run, which I would imagine you will, then jump down on that side. If you jump down on the closer side, then you will get over in this area here. And as we get closer, yep, 3 of these spawn, and that's not fun to jump down in a closed space you don't know where it is and have 3 basilisks breathing on you at the same time. So definitely not a good time. So jump down on the far side as you do the corpse run. Right around the corner there's one, so just run around smashing it, and there's another one coming in. You can dodge to the side and take that out as well. You'd actually think that I've done this many times because of corpse running, and you would be correct in assuming that. There's another one here to the right. So after a few tries, we kind of get the hang of what to do in order to proceed here. Now the fighting in this dungeon isn't very difficult. The difficult part is definitely these chariots here. Now at this point there is actually a loot on the ground here, but I don't really care about it because we'll come back to that later on. So we're just waiting for this one. If you get too far ahead, you get your head knocked off by the chariot, so that's not great. And then we run. There's a loot here on the left, but I'm not taking that. I'm just going down and then going over here. Can we make it? Can we make it? And we just barely make it. And super aggressive skeleton is ruining our day. Don't go too far forward. And now as we kill this, normally I wouldn't be healing. Oh, come on, kill it. But in this case, I am going to heal it, because if I take damage, then it's going to be a bad time. So here, since these are desynchronized, I can run after one, and then can run in behind the other one, and then run behind the first one, and have that one turn. And we have a safe spot right there. And now there's another one coming in. So this is a safe spot, and this is also where it gets a bit tricky. You need to go down here, and I go back to my safe spot. Okay, so here's the trick. You go on top of this corpse and then you can drop down. If you drop down right on top of the head, you will hit this one. That's a really nice indicator to know where you're supposed to go. There are now 2 ways you can go. Yeah, that way, all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but the lower level, and there's the higher level here, which goes this way that we're looking now. I'm going to start because I want to kill the chariots because they're annoying. So I'm going to start with the lower level first. So I get rid of the chariots first, because that's the objective of this area. I am just being super careful because this is instant death if you miss, and we don't want to do death in runs as I am recording. So we walk this narrow line heading towards the skeleton, hopefully get there before it notices too much and starts attacking us out here. Yep, we got it. There we go, and then we just need to give it the good old double tap. There we go, perfect. So this path is, I would recommend taking this one first, because this one is disabling the chariots, which is what we really want to do. So we climb up. And that one freaking me out was actually the chariot spawning. And it comes up here, and we can run after it. There is a better way of doing it than what I'm doing here. I am just basically waiting for it to come by and then making a mad dash for it. I'm running a bit too far for my own good. Kind of running a bit and then but look at that. Because we have a rune arc and we have a lot of hit points, we are still good. So we just wait for it to come back. So we can go further down. Turns. It goes up and we go down. We need to go around this corner and in here. 2 aggressive skeletons. Not a problem. And there are no 2 paths. Which one do we think? Up or down? We'll just take a peek at the up one. The up is an elevator. And elevators, yeah, that's kind of a change to we want. So we take the other one first. And we have a little omen. Is this an omen? No, it's not an omen killer. This is an omen. And we did not get it. So first I do it incorrectly, like try and balance and jump and crap like that. But there is an easy way to deal with these, and I will show you now. Jump, attack, jump, attack, jump, attack. 3 of those, and its poison is broken, and it will always just stop its action because you deal too much damage. So these are super annoying until you realize that jump attack is a super clean way of doing it, at least for a melee character like me with a big, relatively big weapon. And we can now go back and take the elevator. Let's top up our healing because we don't know what's coming. We don't want to be killed by the chariot because of stupidity. We have a bit of flames, so we'll just wait for that to pass. Now normally when you run forward and dash one of these, or slash it, it goes down. But not this one, this one actually goes up. And what we see is, we see a... Come on, there. That was a Rosa's statue coming out, and it shines light back out through the hole in the wall. And so what I want to do is, in this case, I'm just bashing it again so it goes down so we can explore further. We'll come back. That's just a little alcove to take care of the lightning. And here, so this is basically jumping back down. For the life of me, I can't figure out why there's a great dragonfly head at that location. It doesn't make any sense. But at this point, we can now slash it so it goes up. Then the Rosa statue will shine light outside. We just run before, and then we stand here and wait. Nothing happens. But as soon as we drop down, it will spawn another chariot in the light of Roses because we're nearby. What happens then is that they all collide. They all smash into each other, and we get a ton of good stuff. We get an Ash of War, Holy Ground. And we just want to take that before we go through all the cool items we get. And we also get the Tree Sentinel set, which I think is pretty cool, and a weird way that we get the Tree Sentinel set at this point. So at this point, we can now run through this. This is the Rosa statue that we just raised. It shined the light in here and then killed the chariots. And we can get a stone sword key. If you didn't have one at the beginning, you can get one here. And then you can open the one in the beginning if you want that, if you didn't have enough. And the double tap. There you go. It just felt like, even though I know this and I've been hacking at these before, then I just still want to try it. Alright, we're going to be exploring just to sort of close off this area to make sure that we are where we think we are. This one comes down, and what you can see down here is sort of the first area. We're coming down from the other side. If you drop down on here, that's the basilisk area. We are now tracing our way back, and that gets all the way up to the starting area. We just want to see that this is all connected, and we are back at the starting area here, and that's the Pit of Doom, or Pit of Despair, I guess. There will be a certain amount of despair just by falling down into that one. and we'll trace our steps back. This is the roses, so now it is all safe and it's much easier to explore from this location. So what we need to go is usually we would jump down into the basilisk area instead of running this way where the chariot is going, but in the basilisk area we would go underneath this, and then we would come out on let's see, come out a bit further down, right? Come down here. Yeah, we would come out on this side so we could run down to this location and at that safe part that we talked about. And this, we have an option. We can go up here, but that's sort of the boss fight, and we don't want to do that yet because we still have something we haven't done. Let's go down here and drop down on this ledge again. And this time we're not going to go left, we're going to go right. So we turn and we walk on this bank and then just move forward. Now at this point I have been careful about not using my focus points because I want to use the focus points for the boss fight. The boss fight is pretty tough, so I want to try to conserve as much resources as possible for the boss fight. So I have to do all of this without doing that, and yeah, we were lucky and got both of them at once. This can be a bit difficult because there are 3 here, and if you just run around too much you will also get the 4th one in here, and 4 basilisks, just not a good time. And here there's another one spawning in the middle of the room, but we have a time to get our Vulgar Militia Ashes if we want that. Kill that one, get a Grave Glovewort and a ladder climbing up. This was just a little side area, didn't do much, but hey, we did it because we are completionists, and that brings us basically up to where we jumped down from. Oh, by the way, long ladder, you know it. That's a good time to hit the like button and not consider, but hit the subscribe button if you feel like it, as we are climbing up to the top. And we drop down, and now there's only one thing left to do in this dungeon, and that is moving up and clearing the boss. Now, this boss is very tough. Not gonna lie, I think this is a tough one. It's a cool fight, but it's basically 2 Crucible Knights, and Crucible Knights are annoying. Now they are not as tough, I feel, or maybe that's because of my level, but yeah, weirdly enough, there are a few skeletons here. Man, that was a clean dodge from that skeleton. And that gets us into a really uncomfortable fight here. There. So now I really want to make sure that we get a bit of healing from him and tap and get a visceral attack so we get a bit of focus points back if we need it. And we are pretty much at full health, right? Yeah, pretty much. That's close enough. So, 2 Crucible Knights, and you just have to fight this slowly and wait for openings. First we're going to buff up with our flask and our switch to 2-hander, and also get some exalted flesh so we get as much damage as possible. And we're going to go in and basically try to hit both of them at once. Crucible Knight and Crucible Knight Ordovis. That was not working. There, we got a good smash in. Not really. That one does. They deal a lot of damage. So I want to try to use my my special attacks dodge to the side of that one. You fought the mage separately. What we really want is we want the Knight Ordovis to be the one that takes the most damage, because that's the one we want to get down first. Try not to walk them both down, but instead going in here and then get openings like that we know we've learned the attacks. Now we got that one to half, which actually is pretty easy. Jump down there and then we can get a good attack in and then get away because we can't see the other one. That is the special attack from this weapon, and I absolutely love that weapon, but it's unfortunately not as good as mine. So at this point, go in. That's a bad go in here because they're both ready. You really have to look for openings where one is forward. So that's a good opening. And then we get the hell out of there. There, and that's an opening. Good. Now the other one, unfortunately, also transitioned into second phase, which makes it a bit tougher. So we can't really do that. And again, the special attack. That attack is super, super dangerous. This is easy to avoid if you actually pay attention, so I would recommend paying attention. That's a good one because that's a 4-hit combo there, and that's going in again. attack. Could maybe have forced it, but I don't want to, because I can just do there. So that is one down, although this is down, and this guy is easier. This is easy to dodge, just dodge like that, and then you get a good opening. This one, you really have to be careful, and don't, I will also show you that it has way more range than it looks like. So here, like, yeah, that's fine. Whoops. I thought it was far enough away, but nope. He goes absolutely crazy with that one. So, and still, okay. Now that's it. We're not going to be hit by that one again. And this one is easy to dodge out of, and I could have countered, but I needed that healing. Yep, and I think I'll get hit one more time, just for good measure, so I can show how the effect. This is a good attack because it's easy to dodge and easy to counter. This time we didn't get hit. Yes, finally. And that's also an easy one. It's very telegraphed, and this is great because we know we can counter it, jump to the side, and counter. So it's all about just waiting for openings, to be patient, and then going. Although this greatsword is super amazing, unfortunately you get it way too late. And then we get the X armor set, so we can look like Crucible Knights. I love the Crucible Knight set, so we are going to change to the new Crucible Knight set, and that's actually the last of the dungeons in this area. So I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope these dungeons now make a lot more sense to you. If they have, you know where the like button is, you know where the subscribe button is. I hope to see you in another episode. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.